ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ पंजाब टीवी और ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ-ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਦੋਸਤ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਦੀਪਕ ਪੁੰਜ। ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਦੋ ਅਹਿਮ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤਾਂ ਪਹੁੰਚੀਆਂ ਨੇ। ਪਹਿਲੇ ਤੇ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਮੈਡਮ ਲਿੰਡਾ ਜੈਫਰੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਆਨਰੇਬਲ ਮੇਅਰ ਨੇ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ, ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰ ਗੁਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਢਿੱਲੋਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਵਾਰਡ ਨੰਬਰ 10 ਦੇ ਨੇ। ਔਰ ਦੋਨੇ ਬੜੀਆਂ ਅਹਿਮ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤਾਂ ਆ। ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਏਰੀਏ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਨੇ। ਰੀਸੈਂਟਲੀ कई ਹਿਊਜ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਵੀ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਮੈਡਮ ਮੇਅਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਖੁਦ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਨੇ। ਐਂਡ ਵੀ ਆਰ ਵੈਰੀ ਆਨਰਡ ਟੂ ਹੈਵ Linda Jeffrey on air. Welcome, Mayor.
Thank you for the invitation. Nice to be here.
Welcome, Tilla sir.
Thank you so much. What's up, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਸਾਰੇ viewers ਦਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ। ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ।
ਉਸ ਦਿਨ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਅਧੂਰੀਆਂ ਰਹਿ ਗਈਆਂ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਔਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਪ੍ਰੋਮਿਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਬੜੀ ਜਲਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਮਿਸ ਫੁੱਲਫਿਲ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਡਮ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਥੇ ਲਿਆ ਕੇ। ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ।
Any time, Vijay, any time.
Let's talk about Linda first of all, because you were municipal affair minister in the government, and people ask like a lot of times, you were a minister, why you became mayor? What was the need of it?
I think you know, I was pretty happy doing what I was doing at the province of Ontario, and I enjoyed the job. But after about 11 years at the province of Ontario, a lot of people came and asked me to run for mayor. And one of those people that came and asked me was Bill Davis, the former Premier of Ontario. And he was pretty convincing. And at the time, excuse me, we were reading a lot about Brampton in the newspaper, and Brampton was in the news for all the wrong reasons. There was lots of scandals. There were a lot of expense scandals. Everyone on council at the time was under a criminal investigation. Not one, but all 11 of the council were under that suspicion. So it was not a good news story, and I love Brampton. I care about it. I think it's a great place to raise a family, start a business, and I decided, along with a number of my colleagues who worked with me at Queen's Park, that we were going to take the leap of faith and run a campaign, and we were successful, and I want to thank the voters who came out and believed in a better Brampton.
And those all ghost issues we had like in the previous council, what are you doing? Are you doing any action against those, like all the scandals in City Hall expansion and all those things, like all those expenses about the elections?
So some of those issues were resolved before I got there, because the OPP did an investigation into the expenses. So what I tried to do is provide better policy. So right now we're looking at a lobbyist registry, a gift registry, a new code of conduct. These are the rules put in place that will make it clear to everybody what the right way to behave is. And when people break the rules, the staff around them break the rules. This is my money. It's your money. And I want to spend properly, and I want accountability and transparency about how those dollars are being spent. There are some vestiges of what happened before. There are still lawsuits. One of the lawsuits that we resolved was when the former mayor of Brampton was suing the city, and we came to an agreement on that. We have another lawsuit about the expansion of City Hall, Southwest Quadrant. That is still ongoing. But we are trying to clean up. You know, Gurpreet and I have been on the job for almost 8 months now. Yeah. You don't change the culture in a building or the way they do business overnight. It takes time to change the respect and the culture of how you do business. But I think one of our best successes was our recent budget. We had the most participation we've ever had. I think we had almost 17,000 people participate in our budget. And what, you know, I spoke to some of our seniors just the other day, and how pleased they are that they're able to use our recreation centers. If they're an affiliated group, after prime time hours, they can use it for free. And a lot of our seniors enjoy that. And, you know, people like Gurpreet has been their champion on issues of making sure they have benches and making sure they have shelters and making sure that all of our community can participate and has a say in how we spend their tax dollars.
Two of your councillors from the council, they questioned your ability to lead as a team, as a team leader. Like, what are your answer to them? How you will work with them in this lack of support?
Well, I think the people that are questioning my leadership are people that are returning to council, and they like doing things their way, and they're frustrated when people don't agree with them. And I think democracy is about having different opinions and bringing the facts to the table. You know, I think this conversation that they're alluding to, the light rail transit conversation, it's about the facts. It's a business case. It's a business decision. And I happen to believe that when the province of Ontario offers you $400 million to build light rail transit into your city, 100% covered, I think that's a good decision. So I believe that that's the right thing to do. I will be voting in favor of light rail transit. And the people that are criticizing my leadership are people that aren't. They're going to vote differently.
If I can add something as well, Viji, I think ਜਿਹੜੀ LRT ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਬੇਸਿਕਲੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਦੂਜੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਅਟੈਕ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੂਜੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅਗੇਂਸਟ ਬੋਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਰ ਗੱਲ ਇਹ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਹੁਣ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਸਟਰੈਕਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਆਰਗੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਫੈਕਟਸ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ एविडेंस है कि ये LRT ये वधिया ये बेस्ट डिसीजन साडी सिटी वास्ते पर उन्हां कोल सिर्फ सिनेरियोज ने कि चलो आ कर लिए वो कर लिए पर जदों आपां पुछदे कि सानू कोई एविडेंस दसो फैक्ट्स दसो उन्हां को वो है नहीं सो उन्हां ने की कीता कि जाके पेपर च लोकां नू डिस्ट्रैक्ट करन वास्ते गलत गल्लां ਹੁਣ ਦੱਸਦੇ ਪਏ ਆਪਣੇ ਰਿਪੋਰਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਸਟਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 2-3 ਆਰਟੀਕਲ ਆਏ ਹਨ ਸੋ
ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਰਟੀਕਲ ਆਇਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਅਟੈਂਡੈਂਸ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾਂ ਪੈਟ ਫੁੱਟੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਦੀ ਵੀ
ਹਾਂ ਦੈਟਸ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਗਲਤ ਹੈ ਪਤਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ 13 ਕਮੇਟੀਜ਼ ਤੇ ਹਾਂ ਆਮ ਔਨ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦ GTA ਕਮੇਟੀ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਟੇਜਿਕ ਪਲੈਨਿੰਗ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਤੇ ਹਾਂ ਨੰਬਰ ਆਫ ਅਦਰ ਕਮੇਟੀਜ਼ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਐਕਟਿਵ ਮੈਂ ਹੀ ਨੈਕਸਟ ਟੂ ਦ ਮੇਅਰ obviously is the busiest but weekends ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਕਾਟੇਜ ਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਇਵੈਂਟਸ ਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਇਵੈਂਟਸ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਪਾਰਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ ਸੋ we're very active ਤੇ very involved ਸਭ I think ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਹੀ ਬੋਲਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਹੈਨਾ ਕਿ we have to ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਉਠਾਉਣਾ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਫਾਇਦਾ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਵਧੀਆ ਉਹੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ
ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ LRT ਦੇ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੈਫਰੈਂਡਮ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ there should be referendum for LRT decision there should be a referendum in the city of Brampton that if people want LRT or not. Do you agree with that?
Well, we're not at that point right now. Council will be making a decision, and really, I think Gurpreet kind of alludes to it. There's a lot of distractions going on about this debate. It's like it just arrived. Well, this council has been actually looking at its transportation master plan since 2004, and the last council decided they didn't want a surface route, and it was a 10-1 decision. But at that time, the province of Ontario did not offer 100% of the funding. It's a very different conversation when somebody else is prepared to pick up 100% of the tab. And I believe, and believe Gurpreet is has the same feelings about it. We know this is about attracting jobs, economic development to our city, and helping our families. Because a lot of our families are really struggling with everyday costs. Do you want to go out and buy another car so that your children and your family can get back and forth across the city? We all know how expensive auto insurance is. That's a huge burden for our families. If there's a way we can make public transit easier, more accessible for all of our families, why wouldn't we do that? That's our job, not to think for this electoral cycle, but beyond, years, decades from now. And one of the other things that I believe that it is tied to is we want a university.
Yeah, definitely.
If you want a university in Brampton, maybe it will be in our downtown. It might not be, but if it is, how will we move 10,000 students in and around Brampton if we don't have another form of transportation? I want a university, and I believe a lot of our residents believe that that's the right thing for Brampton. That will put us on the map, that will give us the prestige and the excitement and energy that we need. And we don't want our young people to leave town to go to school because when they leave, they often don't come back.
So, basically you want to try, you are telling us that university thing is related to LRT. Well, I mean, this is one of the points.
I think it will help our action plan going forward. The plan that we put forward to the province, and Gurpreet is on that blue ribbon panel giving advice on that particular issue. I think it will better support our plan.
Viji, देखो जी मैं तो एक फैक्ट देना पिछले साल ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਕਾਉਂਸਲ ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਚਾਂਸ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਵਿੰਸ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਆਪਾਂ 3 ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀਆਂ ਬਣਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਸਤੰਬਰ 2014 ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਬਮਿਟ ਕਰੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਬਮਿਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਤੇ ਨੈਗੋਸ਼ੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਨਵਿੰਸ ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਫੇਅਰ ਚਾਂਸ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਦਿਓ ਤੇ ਦੇਖੋ ਮਾਰਕਮ ਨੂੰ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸਿਟੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਰਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸਿਰਫ 5 ਏਕੜ ਹੈ ਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕੀ ਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਸਬਵੇ ਲਾਈਨ ਹੈ है ना ते मिल्टन दे कोल 150 एकड़ सी वो रिजेक्ट हो गए सो इट्स अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ गेटिंग किड्स इन एंड अराउंड ते जेडे बच्चे बाहरों आउंदे मे बी हैमिल्टन तो जां टोरंटो दे दूजी साइड तो they can get on their GO train or connect to our LRT so they have access otherwise they don't have access into Brampton
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਦੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨੈਸਿਸ ਆ ਡਾਊਨਟਾਊਨ ਬ੍ਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਇਫੈਕਟ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ 4 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਆ ਜਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਰੀਲੋਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ ਜਾਂ
no sorry
ਉਹਦਾ ਕਿਸ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਦਾ ਬਲੂਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ ਆ ਮਤਲਬ ਅੱਧਾ ਕਰਨਗੇ ਕੰਸਟਰਕਸ਼ਨ ਕੀ ਆ ਉਹਦਾ ਬਲੂਪ੍ਰਿੰਟ
ਉਹ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਕੋਈ ਇਨਵੈਸਟਮੈਂਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਵੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਲਵੇਜ਼ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਿਸਕ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੇ देयर इज always going to be it's not going to be the best times ਪਰ ਦੇਖੋ ਜੀ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਸਲੋ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਨਾਲੇ ਮੋਸਟ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਉੱਥੇ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਇੱਥੇ LRT ਆਵੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਕਸਟਮਰਸ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਸੋ ਦੈਟਸ ਦ ਮੇਨ ਥਿੰਗ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਾਰਸ ਪਾਰਕ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਕਾਰਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਲਿਸਨ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਲੋ we need some type of we need something to invigorate and to bring energy towards it.
We have a plan. If we are successful in getting the vote to support the LRT, we are going to have a business continuity plan. We've got a motion that, should it pass, that will talk about that the business office of the Metrolinx will be in Brampton. So it'll be centered in Brampton so that we can see and talk to the people who are responsible for the construction of the LRT to make sure it's staged in a way that is respectful for the businesses. But, you know, if anybody watched that council meeting, there were hundreds of people in that audience watching it either in the council chambers or down in our atrium, and people watching it at home and listening to it on TV. There are lots of people that are engaged in this issue, and there were 4-1 in favor of this LRT. They get it. And if you looked at the audience, it was a cross-section of older people and younger people. Every community was there. I was very proud of the group of people that spoke, and I think Jeffery would agree with me. They were so well informed. They'd read the reports. They knew what they were talking about. They brought up good points, and they really challenged the status quo. I think we need to be bold. I want a city that will help us be the 9th largest city, and I think world-class transportation is part of a world-class city.
Do you think the councillors who are against you in this LRT thing, they talk to their residents and their voters about this, or I hope there is nothing personal against you?
You know, I'm not going to speculate as to why people make the decisions they do, but I think that there are 4 returning members of council, and all 4 of them, I believe, voted against this surface route in the last term of council. But again, they didn't have the province of Ontario covering 100% of the funds. But interestingly enough, Councillor Miles, who also voted no, has changed her mind. She's read the details, she's looked at the reports, she's looked at the numbers, and she can see that the writing is on the wall. We now have a transportation system that is 60% at the uptake level. We could not have predicted how successful our LRT could have been if we had not seen how successful Zoom and Brampton transited. So we are closing our doors to people waiting to catch a bus now because the buses are so full. So we can see that you need to plan 10 years out, and you need to put the resources in place, and we don't have to, as taxpayers, put the resources up front. The province of Ontario wants to be our partner. That's a good place.